All right, welcome back to the channel. So Gervonta Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz is continually being sabotaged by the boxing media. This time, they make an outrageous claim that neither Leo Santa Cruz nor Gervonta Davis are actually champions. You can't make this stuff up. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. So, first things first, we all know that the boxing championship, belts, all that stuff can be very, very confusing, without a doubt. And I myself, on a daily basis, speak to people about the sanctioning bodies and who is the actual champion, and working kind of through this maze of who it is, who it isn't type of stuff that can go on in boxing, and seems like only goes in boxing. However, the people that I talk to about this are usually not in the boxing media. Because if you're in the boxing media, you should know these things because they are public record. And if you have access to public records, you should be able to find those. But don't let that stop the boxing media, who I have been saying for a while and will continue to say is in the pocket of these promoters. Don't let that the readily available information keep them off of their shtick that they're throwing at the PBC fighters. So today on Twitter, and I shall leave this guy's name out of it because I am not publicizing morons. Just not doing it. However, suffice it to say that the guy is an auxiliary. He has an auxiliary vote for the Boxing Hall of Fame. I don't know what that means. I think that means that if somebody loses their vote, then you may be in a waiting list to get one, from what I understand. That's the only way I can interpret it. However, Boxing Hall of Fame, leave this guy off of your voting lists. Nah, might as well throw him in there because a whole bunch of guys are up in there that don't know what they're talking about, or will willy-nilly just tell you something that's not true. So what did he say? He says that Gervonta Davis is not a 3-time champion. He is a 2-time champion, not a 3-time champion, because he never really held a real belt at 130 pounds, a WBA belt at 130 pounds. Okay, let me repeat that. He's saying Gervonta Davis is not a 3-time champion because he only won 2 legitimate belts of the 3. Okay? That, my friend, is true. That part is true. However, my media people, you actually have to pay attention to what 2 they are. And let me tell you what they are. The 2 legitimate belts that Gervonta Davis has had and won are both at 130 pounds. He was the IBF champion and he was the WBA, the world super featherweight champion. And that is the truth. Now, while boxing people could have said, and I did a video at the time that this happened, and I'm going to move forward past this and show you what this means for Leo Santa Cruz. And why, sir, if what you're saying is true, that Gervonta Davis was not the real WBA 130-pound champion, then that means neither is Leo Santa Cruz. Because Leo Santa Cruz holds the same belt that Gervonta Davis held. So, if, sir, Gervonta Davis only holds, if his WBA 130-pound title was not legitimate, that means, friend, that there is no belts on the line for this fight. None. Because the WBA 140-pound champion, the WBA super world lightweight champion, is Teofimo Lopez. The WBA regular champion is Gervonta Davis. So that, my friend, is a secondary belted 135 for Gervonta Davis. At 130 pounds, he held the the WBA World Super, WBA Super World Super featherweight title, which is the same title that Leo Santa Cruz holds now. So if it wasn't legitimate for Gervonta Davis, then it's not legitimate for Leo Santa Cruz. And if it's not legitimate for Leo Santa Cruz, then there are no belts at all at stake for this fight, which we know is not true. But don't let that get in your way of hating on the fight. Now, let me explain to you why this is not true, that Gervonta Davis was not the legitimate WBA World Super World. How do you say that again? See, it's so confusing. I can understand. It's the WBA Super World Super Featherweight title that they're fighting for. Why is Gervonta Davis the champion? Because he got it when it was vacated by Jarrell Corrales. When he missed his championship on the scale, lost his champion on the scale against Alberto Machado, right? Giselle Corrales fought Robinson Castellano, got lucky, got a win. I do believe in his next fight, he fought the Puerto Rican, 5'10" Puerto Rican Machado, who subsequently lost to a guy named the guy who you must think is the real champion, right? You must think this guy is, what is his name? Rene Alvarez or something? Rene Alvarado? I mean, come on, man. When have you ever heard of Rene Alvarado considered a champion? But you're just going to go out there and throw that out there. However, let me explain what happened. And there was reasonable confusion at the time. However, the confusion was rectified. Just because it was confusing at the beginning doesn't mean it has to stay confusing if you actually pay attention and try to figure out what the scenario is. When Giselle Corrales missed weight, the WBA Super title was off the line. The WBA regular could be won by Alberto Machado. That's the decision that the WBA made, and that's the decision that it says on BoxRec. If you go to BoxRec, and I want anybody and everybody that doubts me to do this, because some people don't know this function is there, but you would if you were a serious boxing fan. You go to BoxRec, and you type in Gervonta Tank Davis, and then you go to a title that said that Leo Santa Cruz is fighting for, right? Or you can go straight to Leo Santa Cruz's. But then when you see the title, I want you to click on the title. After you click on the title, you know what it will do? I mean, the title of the belt title that they said that they won. In this case, it will be the WBA Super at 130 pounds, right? I'm tired of saying the World Super World, the World Super, what is it? The WBC Super World Super Featherweight Champion. Super confusing. The WBA Super at 130 pounds, right? Look at the records for that. Do you know what you'll see? That Alberto Machado's name is never mentioned. And that the champion goes from Gervonta Tank Davis to Leo Santa Cruz, who won it in a vacant fight. Now, if I am wrong that there was a super in between the two, you will see that on that list. But if you ever want to see the lineage of a belt, that's how you do it. Which is why I could so easily dismiss you people that claim that Gervonta Davis is not in a championship fight. Dude, you guys will do anything to tear this man down. Anything to prevent these guys from being considered the stars that they are. The boxing media is so in bed with these promoters, and these promoters are not with the PBC because the promoters, most of the PBC guys are their own promoters. And they are desperately, just like the lawsuit that was put on the PBC by Bob Arum and Oscar De La Hoya in an attempt to shut them down that way, that failed. The media has continued that war against the PBC from that day. From tell all kind of stories about them going bankrupt to how they're violating all these laws and these rules and their fight. Now it's just their fighters aren't real champions. They're not really making any money. I don't care if Nobody in the country knows who Monster Inoue is. He's really the big star. Dog, this is the continual nonsense that we get out of these people. And at a certain point in time, dude, they're never going to stop. They're never going to stop. But you can seek out places where you can find the truth. And people will, even if they don't like it, and even if you don't agree with them, can give you some basic facts that are true. You have your right to your own opinion. You don't have your right to your own, you do not have a right to your own facts. Gervonta Tank Davis was the WBA Super 130-pound title champion, and he was the IBF champion at 130. That makes him a 2-time champion. If he beats Leo Santa Cruz in this fight, he will be a 3-time champion because he would have won 3 belts at 130 pounds, the WBA Super, the WBA Super, and the IBF. And none of them will be a champion at 135, and people who call themselves boxing media should know better. But that is my take on the matter. You let me know what you think, and with that, I'm out. Peace.